Welcome back to my podcast. This is where I talk a little bit about things that I'm currently working on, particularly fiber related, but I might throw some other things in here or there. Today is Friday, April 23rd, and I'm just gonna get started. So I wanted to start by sharing what I'm wearing. This is my Janine tee by I Love Tinderbox. It has lots of pretty lace in the front. It has even more in the back. I might insert a picture here just so you can see what the full thing looks like. I made this last summer, I think, and I really like how it turns out. It's very airy, very light, really comfy for warm weather. I also was very drawn to this t-shirt because then I could show off my back tattoo with the pretty lace panel in the back. So that is what I'm wearing today, and I'm gonna jump into whips. Nope, I have some finished objects this week. So, and I realized that I have one more thing that I can share, so I actually have two FOs for this week. I will start with my Gnome bottle toppers. This is a pattern by Nana's Crafty Home, and I've shown these before because I think I tested the pattern during my podcast, but I recently made some additional ones in different color combinations. So this was the same red as my tested one, although my original one had a black beard. So I found this really pretty brownish, grayish, textured kind of color faux fur. So this is the first one. Then I have this mustard yellow one, and I love this color of yarn, but I didn't quite have enough, so I actually had to stop the hat a little short, which is okay. I think it'll still fit a bottle okay. But it is a little bit different than the others. And then I thought the black faux fur, I had a little bit left over from the scrap that I used for my first one, so I thought the black would look really good with this bright yellow. Nice contrast, but I will show you. You can see the difference here at how much bigger. This is what it would have been had I had enough yarn, and this is what it ended up being. So 2, and then the third one is this really pretty, it's not really eggplant, it's just a deep purple, kind of like a reddish purple. And I can't remember why I chose the white one for this. Oh, I was trying to avoid putting the white beard with the red, like a Santa type thing, because we're not in the right season, and I didn't want it to look too Christmassy. So I put the brown. I was originally going to do the white one with this one for contrast, and I was pretty sure I wanted to do the black one for this one, but I decided to do the white one with this one so that I wouldn't have my white and my red together. So I think it turned out really cute. I like the way the white beard looks, and I think they're a fun variety. So that's that. The second one, I actually, as I was setting up to record, I realized that I could show this because I think I hadn't even started it last time. I remember talking about starting it, but I hadn't. So I have been working on the, I didn't write it down, the Traveling Seasons, I think is the order. Traveling Seasons Afghan. And it's a collaboration between Lion Brand and a bunch of different designers. I have some videos on my channel that talk a little bit more in depth about this project, but I finished the very first summer square. In fact, I think I just blocked it over the last weekend. So this is the first square using my summer color. I am hand dyeing all of the yarn for this project because I'm going for specific colors. Again, if you're interested in hearing more, I will have videos on my channel. But this was the square. I think it was the shell stitch, because there was a story about shells in summer in there. So I think that's what this is. I think it looks really pretty. You can see some slight variation to the yarn, and I really like that slight variation. In fact, I think it might show up better on camera than it does in person. It does a little bit. I did alternate skeins so that everything kind of played nicely together. I did that every 2 rows or so. And it is blocked, and I'm currently leaning toward leaving all of my squares unattached until I can see how all of them blocked up. I am being a bad crocheter and kind of fudging with things as I need to kind of get all my squares to line up. I'm having to use different hooks for every single square, and I'm not getting the right size, and anyway, I'm doing a lot of fudging, so I'm thinking it's best that I leave these unattached so that I might go and add a border at the end in the same color as the square, just to kind of help even things out or make them bigger, because right now I think blocked they're either 2 or 2.5 inches shorter than they're supposed to be, which is quite a bit. So I haven't decided that far yet, but that is where I'm at. So now we really will get into whips, and I'm going to start with my tulip wrap tank. I've made some progress. This is by Knititude, and I have it again in my super cute Harry Potter project bag by Lila Styles. Has a lot of fun graphics on the bag, and the zipper pull, is, I forget to mention it, is the little Deathly Hollow symbol, and it can double up as a stitch marker. So I have the 2 front panels completed. So here is, I think it's gonna be my right panel. I'm also using True. It's my first time using True, and the color is mauve, and it has such a beautiful drape. I mean, it's just silky smooth, and of course it's not blocked yet, so you can see some differences in my tension there. And then this should be the left panel that I just finished a couple days ago. So eventually it'll do something like this. Oh, it's so silky. It's sliding right off. But something like this, it'll cross in the front, and then I have just started on the back panel. So I have the ribbing. In fact, I'm showing you the wrong side. The ribbing and just a little bit into the stockinette here. This project I'm having to do at a pretty slow pace, except for like the front panel that I just finished. It was starting to taper up toward the top, so I was moving through that a little faster. But I think if you've been watching a couple of the videos, I've been struggling with some hand pain issues, and I think the suspect is True and how silky smooth it is on my metal needles, which are the only ones that I own. And my hands are tightening up when working with it, just to help keep it from sliding off. And so I'm only doing like a row or 2 at a time on my tulip wrap tank, but it is making progress. I'm on the last panel, so pretty excited about that. I really love working with True. It is glorious. I'm excited to wear it. I'm hoping it fits. When I was reading through the project pages on this particular top, True grows a lot when blocking, and I did meet gauge with my blocked swatch, but a lot of people were saying that they wish they would have sized down, and I don't know if they were were meaning gauge or not. I'm assuming they meant gauge, but because it grew so much with blocking, they still wish they sized down. So I am sizing down, and I'm crossing my fingers that it'll work in the end. So we'll see. It'll be an experiment. That is that. Now I'm going to show you, my Tidings to You wrap by Amy Gunderson. It is my Jimmy Beans, that's the name, Jimmy Beans craft vent from 2020. And this is the project that every weekend my mom and I Zoom and work through it together. So we just kind of work on it at our own pace, but we are on the 5th color, and it's going to be another lengthy lace section. I think we might have been on this section last time, but I can't remember. And if I'm repeating myself, I'm very sorry, but I'm very excited that I discovered that I have been doing my yarn overs wrong. So the lace, even before blocking, is showing up much more clearly here than it is in my other sections where I also have yarn overs. So part of me is bummed out that I'm just realizing this, but also I'm very excited now to see the rest of the lace as it works up, now that I'm doing them the right way. So really enjoying this project so far. It's been a lot of fun to work on. It is single ply yarn, which I've also been really enjoying. So all around, a nice project to just work on for a couple hours on the weekend and then move on to something else. Let's see. Next is my Turn Tunic dress made by Haley Bailey. And I realized I forgot to mention that my Tulip wrap tank is part of my Make 9 for 2021. And my Turn Tunic dress is also Make 9. I'm working on a couple of my summery makes at the same time, especially since I can't work on my Tulip wrap tank for very long. I picked up a crochet project. So I have one panel done. I can't remember if this is the front or the back. I think it's the front because I think that's the front neckline. So the front panel is done. And I am partway through on my back panel. This is Premier Cotton. It's a weight 2 in the color, oh my gosh, I'm going to pull all of this out, in the color Coral, which I thought was a really pretty color. I've also been obsessed with peachy tones, so that is what I have so far. It's going to be, I'm doing a dress version and not just like a tunic top. It can be either one, which I imagine is why it's called a tunic dress, because it's also that style when it's a dress, but it also can be shortened to be a tunic. I haven't quite decided how long I want to make it yet. I imagine probably knee length or so. I think that's usually the length I like to wear my dresses at, so that'll probably be how far down it goes. The top panel, I think once I'm finished with the back panel, it gets seamed at the sides, and then the dress works in the round. And oh no, I lost my train of thought. I don't remember where I was going. Oh, I was gonna just say that right now the panels fall to about my natural waist. So it'll be like a high-waisted dress. So I'm looking forward to having that to wear later this spring, maybe? It might be done. It might be done before spring's over. Spring, summer, and fall. I think I could get a good wearing season out of them. Ooh, so I now get to show you my knit test that I'm doing for Knitway. It is the Ivy Tunic, and I still have it in my beautifully gigantic Rose City yarn crawl drawstring backpack type kind of thing from this year. It's a it's a backpack, not just like a regular drawstring bag. But I joined in the round. Let's see if I can do this without dropping stitches. So last time I didn't have a whole lot to share because I just had, I think, like the back top of it done. But I actually have enough that I was able to do my first try on and see how it was fitting. Joined in the round, and now essentially I'm just adding length before I do the finishing work. So it fits like this. It has a, I think it's almost a V-neck when the edging is done, and then it'll just basically drape. I'm very excited. It combines knit and crochet, which also makes me very happy because I can combine both of my things. And this is being worked up. It is my first time using Kobu. Yeah, Kobu in the color Steel Blue. And I will say that I haven't crocheted with either Trubu or Kobu, so I don't know. I'm sure crochet would feel much different. But the drape that is coming out of these two yarns is unreal. And I also don't work with DK very much. In fact, I think I've only crocheted with DK, so that could be another part of it, is just not being used to how drapey DK weight yarn feels with knit. But this, I would say, has the same beautiful drape as the Trubu, but not as like silky and slidey. This does split. They both split. You just have to be careful when you're working with both of them. But I'm like, I could see myself working with this almost exclusively. It stays on my needles a little bit better. Trubu might have a little bit better of a drape, and the silkiness of it just makes it something else. Like, it is fantastic when it's worked up in a fabric, but I feel like my hands don't hurt as much when I work with Kobu, and that alone could be worth, I mean, it's just, I wish I could share it through the camera how it feels, because it feels pretty beautiful. I'm very excited to wear this. It is a tunic top, but I think the fact that I'm working it up in Kobu, I could still, I don't know, we'll have to see once it's done if it can be like a summer top or maybe more of like a spring/fall garment. I'm not sure, but it is glorious. Very happy with it. As you can see, I'm not too far in the round. I'm only about 1.5 inches or so, and I have a long way to go. I think it's supposed to measure 27 inches from the back edge, and I'm probably about 10 inches, so I'm not even halfway done with knitting stockinette. And then the armholes and the neckline get crocheted edging, and then there's also a crocheted belt that cinches it in at the waist. So that one makes me super happy, and I definitely want to buy more Kobu. I don't really have any mail to share today. It's been the same whips as the past couple of podcasts now, just because they're all garments, so they're all taking a little longer. I did have the pleasant surprise of finishing these up. I actually started them over the holidays. In fact, outside of this one, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the yarn running short, these two hats are completely done. And I think I had one nose done. But I was waiting. I wanted to buy the faux fur in person in like a craft store, because I wanted to be able to see the faux fur and make sure it was the kind of thickness that I needed. And I hadn't been to a craft store for a very long time. So I finally did that, got it out of the way, picked up some new colors that I was excited to try out. And that is why I have an unplanned FO there. And then of course this, I think I whipped this out last weekend. No, I blocked last weekend, so it must have been the weekend before that I just cranked through this block, because I was excited to start on it and see how my summer color worked out. So that is it. I am still trying to record and post these every 2 weeks or so. I will have maybe next weekend, I think, is when I'm tentatively planning to post my recap of my summer yarn video on my channel. I'm doing a series that shows kind of the behind the scenes of dyeing the colors, things that I'm learning as a brand new yarn dyer. I don't want to say that because that's not me, but I'm dabbling. I'm dabbling with dyeing yarn and just having fun with playing with colors and doing my own kind of experiments. And so I'm also cataloging things that I'm noticing as I'm going through it and issues that I'm having. So that I think I have as a separate playlist on my channel, but I also talk about in the spring yarn video, I do a much deeper dive into what this project is about, my plans with it, my thoughts behind the color palette, that kind of thing. And then the other seasons will be just kind of recaps of the yarn itself. So summer yarn tentatively going up next weekend. I needed to have a square done to photograph for the end before I could finish editing the video, but everything else is filmed. So I will leave you at that. By the time this goes on to YouTube, the weekend will pretty much already be done, so I hope you had a good weekend. And follow me on Instagram if you'd like. I say that is where I'm the most active, but to be honest, I don't really post much there right now. I need to be better about posting more, but it's just a struggle. But I will get there. Instagram is my social media where I am the most active. Just going through a little bit of a funk right now. So that is that. I have that down below in the description, as well as my Ravelry information, because I do post my projects there. Modifications that I make, yarn that I use. That's about it. Sometimes I have measurements, more specific measurements, particularly if they're a test. And I do share links to the patterns of the things that I'm working on below, but they are usually on Ravelry too. I know Ravelry is a hit and miss thing for people. I've noticed since they made their updates about a year ago or whatever it was, if I'm on a computer, I do not like looking at Ravelry for very long, but I'm usually using Ravelry on my phone, and because the white space is much more reduced. I think that's what was making my head feel weird and my eyes feel weird with Ravelry, was all of the white space and the really harsh colors. Contrast, I guess I should say. But on my phone, you know, there's less white space, there's more content filling it up, so I don't really have a problem using Ravelry there. So I still use it, and I love using it. I know that's probably a mixed can of worms, but I do love using it to keep track of my hooks and my needles and all of my project information in one place. I also have started stocking it for if I'm looking at wanting to get like a name brand yarn like Kobu, but I wasn't quite sure what to make with it. If I look at the yarn and the projects other people make with it, it lets me get ideas and also figure out if, like the Trubu especially, I was super scared about it stretching, and I was looking at what other garments people were making with things. So anyway, Ravelry information's below, project information is below, and now I promise I will leave it at that. Talk to you later.